back in America, and we just want to share a few things in a moment. But first, just before we do, I understand that all of our Metro kids are sitting in front of the screen in the overflow room. So when I point to you, would you just say, "Hey, kids"?
Hey, kids!
All right, great.
Good morning, church.
Good morning. Good morning.
Home with you again. Thank you for your prayer coverage. We had an amazing, appointed, and anointed time of ministry. It actually superseded my expectation.
Yeah.
We were met at the airport by Pastor Ray White and Margaret, Matt and Gambari. Remember they were here several years ago, and our church supports them through missions. Actually, when they arrived, we rode in that nice van that the church had given to them. It was amazing. We saw the well that we all contributed to, that they were digging so that they could have fresh water and not walk for miles with buckets on their head hauling water. It was just amazing. The Metro Church has made an impact in Harare, Zimbabwe, and I know that all that has been given in missions, the past and the future, has been used extremely well. I think that's important for you to know. I think it was important for us to go and see, and thank you for your heart to give to those people. We arrived Wednesday in Harare. We left Friday for a 3-day conference, 6 miles back in the bush on the dirt road in a tent on Lake Chivero. There were baboons. There were monkeys getting in people's belongings while we were having church in the tent. There were zebras. There were rhinos roaming wild. We returned from that conference and had a leaders meeting on Monday. We flew on Tuesday to Bulawayo for ministry there in Pastor Ken Haskins' church. Pastor Buddy and Beth were speaking in one location, and they sent us to another part of the city with ministers we did not know, in cars we did not have a clue where we were going, But in faith, I said, Jesus, you were covering us. You sent us here whoever we're with, we're going in Jesus' name. And the ministry was amazing. I spoke at a women's meeting. And actually, at the end of the meeting, we were presented Dawn and Ivy's outfits. The women were just excited, all the people. So, much love and appreciation from those people were expressed. And they all had to have a photo with us. We took so many photos on each one of them. But, missions, we could not be more blessed here in this church to be able to give to missions. Amen. Thank you. Thank you all. God bless you. It's good to be home.
And their respect and their love for you is just tremendous. As Nita said, we rode in that van. And by the way, guys, I learned that's a diesel engine in that van. That thing's going to go for a long, long time. And then the water, the well that we dug for them right outside of the orphanage, which is for children who've lost their parents to AIDS. And then one of the churches, we'll show you a picture in a few minutes, though. One of those churches back, I don't know, a year or two ago, they were buying this property, but then all of a sudden the city decided, we want the rest of the money. You got to pay the balance, or you're going to lose the property. And they were in a distress, and they got in touch, and so we did what a lot of you do when you give to missions. We looked across our budget. Where can we do some cuts? We came up with about $8,000, paid that land off for them. And so they have a gorgeous piece of land. We'll show you that in these photos. By the way, I'm holding in my hand $2 bills. We don't think about it here in America, but when we handed someone a nice, clean, fresh 20 and they gave us change, it was that dirty. And they don't have, their money doesn't get recycled. I guess they just wear it out. But they're $2 bills, by the way, which are not unpopular over there. Okay, let us jump to some photos here. And when we arrived there, this is the road that we went down, 6 miles of this dirty road, rough road, 15 to 20 miles an hour into their national park where they had rented facilities and pitched a tent. And so then we met in this tent. This is where we held the conference. And it was very exciting. I mean, just These people, remember, Zimbabwe, U.S. News and World reported several years ago that it is the poorest place, the worst place on the earth to live. It's really an amazing thing when you've been to that place and watched how these people live. But this is the tent. We had this meeting here, and this is part of the worship band there. And the gentleman on your right there with the microphone, his name is Elvis. His name is Elvis, but he can sing like Frank Sinatra. The guy's got a voice. And so they had great worship, and this is the full worship band that was there. That is their best outfit. That's that's their A game, and they do a great A game. And so we enjoyed that worship there. This is another worship team that did one of the other meetings. You can see there, that's their soundboard guys. That's all their technology. And they're out here in the dust and the leaves and the dirt trying to get equipment to work. And they do a pretty phenomenal job of it. This is Nita draws a crowd, and so here they are after one of the meetings and all huddled in there. And it's interesting, because we're Americans and so on and so forth. Like she said, after the meetings, there was this rock star thing where everybody wanted a photo with you. And you're like, oh, really? And so they do this. And here we have a picture standing in front of the orphanage. On the left is Pastor Ray Y and Nita, and then Mary. Mary is the mother who takes care of these children. Mary does not have AIDS. All these children do, lost their parents to AIDS. She loves and cares for them for no salary. She just gets the place where she stays and her meal, which is right there in the orphanage. And very, very soon, they're going to move into that new orphanage building. And that will be an exciting thing for them. Took this picture. If you see the woman in the front, the one on your left, she has a baby tied to her back. That's how they carry their children over there. And they have something like a beach towel. They wrap around those kids, strap them on the back. And she's got 4.5 gallons of water in a bucket on her head. And I think a pocketbook on the other side. I saw one woman with a baby and carrying 3 bags. And it's the women's job. And the women go get the water, and they might have to walk a couple miles, and they bring 4.5 gallons back on the top of their head on those old dirt roads. This is just a typical picture of people trying to make it and selling what they can on the street corners. And you can see in the background some of the buildings there. Most of those people live in one room. Their family lives in a room. And when they talk about sleeping and talking about a bed is a mat. And they might have 8 people sleeping in a room. This is, we took 2 days. We personally paid for a safari. And so with Buddy and Beth, and we were at this safari camp, and it was pretty amazing. As you walked in there, there was a big king bed with a mosquito net to go around it. Had good modern bathroom in it. Actually, it was probably the best facility we stayed in Africa. And so we enjoyed that. And the elephants right outside the front. They had decks down, and you can see the very bottom of the picture there. That's water in looks like a little swimming pool there. But these elephants came right up, drank out of that water. We were sitting in lounge chairs literally 5 or 6 feet from the front of those elephants. And so that was exciting. One of the overnight, we wake up in the morning, we've got a hole in our suitcase, a bush baby, which a bush baby ate through our suitcase to get to our nabs. And so that's it. And in this picture,
out of here.
typical, but in that safari overnight, we could hear lions walk by. You could hear them. They go, huh, huh, huh. As they go, the elephants, hyenas, all that. Really crazy. While we were there in that park, those 2 days, a guy got killed. He was a local guy. He should have known better. He was drinking, got out of a vehicle. Elephant charged him, gored him in the leg, picked him up, ran through the woods, killed him, beaten him on trees. This is a picture. I was speaking to the pastors there. We were doing a qualifications series for them. Hungry people, enthusiastic people. And one of the things God gave me while I was talking to them is, when we were born, we had no choice. When you were born, you had no choice. I want you to know you're right where God wants you. And it was just a word. And so we had a great reception there. taught these guys, had a great time fellowshipping with them. This group of kids were outside of that same meeting, and they just run around and play. They don't hardly have any toys or anything else. Anything round, they'll roll it and play with it. What we had done here, we had taken photos of them and turned around and showed it to them. I had done this just before Buddy does it again. And when I did it to them the first time, all of them burst out in laughter because they didn't understand. They just saw themselves and they'd never seen that before. Now this is the church that is on the property that we helped pay off. And they had a packed house. They had people standing outside. And this is their temporary building until they can build a building. This is a group of people that are in just a very poor area. But this is a gorgeous piece of land. It's totally cleared. It's sitting in the center with houses all around it, a school near it. Excellent location, great pastors. Congregation's been together for over 10 years. You could sense the unity in this group.
Let me interject just a thought here.
10
Pastor
seconds.
Don did an amazing job speaking there to the people, and when the women heard something that they appreciated and they wanted to cheer, they would go, "La, la, 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 la." The whole church.
I asked Pastor Ray why. I said, "What is that?" He said, "Oh, that's their war cry. That's a victory cry." I said, "Well, we'll take that then." A little more enthusiastic than the amens at home. So when they were introducing us in that same church, Nita got up, gave a great opening, and got all the women excited and so on. And the meeting just really went well. Pastor Ray is off to my left there. He interpreted. About 80% of our meetings had to be interpreted. Most people there speak English. Some of the poorest people don't, though. And then at the end of that meeting, we prayed for a lot of people. But someone caught a picture of us praying for this little girl, sweet little girl on crutches. Prayed with her. And then this last photo here, this young girl that we're praying for is probably in her middle 20s. Made a decision, gave her life to the Lord as some others did, and just a precious, innocent moment when she realized that Jesus really loved her. We had an incredible time. The entire trip was amazing. Travel was killing, but 21 hours in airplanes over about a 27-hour period. And so when we got there, we had about a day and a half to get our heads straight, and then we got into it. Everything went well. We came home. Unscathed, excellent trip. And I just want you to know the people there love you very much. They appreciate all of your giving, and they know that it cost you something to do something for them, and they don't overlook that.
And God bless you.
God bless you.
It's good to be home.
Come on, you love my pastor.